The assembly that Paul's writing to, that Timothy is now the overseer of, the assembly that he's writing to is being destabilized by myths, genealogies, and gender confusion. Already. No, this is nothing new under the sun. This isn't, for our time only. I bring this up because, unfortunately, in the Western world, growing up in church, we're going to read these passages of Paul at face value. And with our Western mind and our Western mindset's going to be, hey, by the way, rhythm, you just need to be like you're doing right now. I need you to just be quiet. Don't say 2 words, and that's it. Yeah, okay. I'm not throwing up Illuminati symbols either when I do the okay sign. It's like, I'm not doing that. So for anybody who might think, nope, not. So this is important when we go into we need to really understand that when Paul's talking about standing firm in your faith, is because the other faiths that were out there were in your face 24/7. They were the dominant faith. It wasn't like living in the South. The other day I was riding through where we live at, and every now and then I really try to look and see how many churches. There's literally a church almost on and we live in the country, little country churches. Some of them are kind of big for a country church. Some of them are we got one up the street. It's literally maybe 800 square foot big. It's called Our Father's House. We live in the South that's dominated with churches. Reverse that to the writings of Paul. They're living in a time when everything else was dominant and you are the minority. You said it earlier in the Bible study, Jonathan, we were talking about, you're like, can you imagine? You're bringing up a dead guy who was persecuted, killed by Rome, and was labeled all these things that weren't true, and that's the guy that your salvation is resting upon? So when we talk about faith and you believing in this guy, Paul saying, hey, I got firsthand knowledge here from him. I spent the last 3 years with this group over here called The Way. The Father has opened my eyes up to what the truth is. And so what I tell you today is the truth. That this man who died is now our high priest. This man who died is now the one that's in charge of all the forgiveness of the entire world. So when we go into this, I think let's broaden our minds just a little bit more. Let's broaden our thinking, because the Western church is going to read this passage and say, this is my opportunity to silence all the women. This is our opportunity to tell you to be quiet, to be barefoot, pregnant, make sure my meals are made on time, and you better not say 2 things about it. That's it. I know some guys are like, hey, that's not so bad. So what's wrong with us? There's a lot wrong with it. Let's go into it.